All right, so today we are doing our session for technology in the new normal, getting started with Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is an online collaboration and it is available free. Reason why is because Slack was wiping the floor with Microsoft and they had to come out with a free version. So this is brand new to the 2020 space and it has almost all of the features available if inside Teams, with the exception of the integration features that need Office 365 to be able to work. So I'll point those out. First thing that you've got is it's a single access point for you to put your conversations online so everyone can be in a remote place but can go into their Teams application and converse. They can send files, and if you have the paid version, meaning you are an Office 365 subscriber, then you get access to your calendar, just yours, not everybody else's unless IT makes some changes, all of your tasks and your notes available inside Teams. So it's really great. It also combines/replaces Skype for all of your online chat, your group chats, your phone calls, your video conferencing, and your screen sharing. Yes, even the free version has built-in screen sharing within the members of your organization. So especially the people are right now that probably have their tech hats on, as people ask them questions, hey, how can I do this? What can I do? Just using the free Teams application, you can ask them to share their screen and you can see what they're looking at and walk them through it instead of the dreaded phone call. Also, it comes with both SharePoint and OneDrive integrated into it. So that's kind of a nice part to be aware of, and I'll talk about that when we get to the file section. Can add in other apps into Teams to help jump between, so you don't have to jump between logins. So if you have vendors that are using Slack, you can actually add Slacks into Teams. You can add YouTube, you can add just pretty much any login type base into Teams and be able to access it through bots and stuff. We'll go into that a little bit more tomorrow, but just wanted to let people know that there is extensions you can do with Teams that makes it a really good online collaboration part. It is free, but we recommend, and Microsoft recommends, that you are using it with a free Microsoft account. Now that can be any address that you use. So you could actually take a Gmail account, kellyjones@gmail.com, and make that a Microsoft account. You don't have to sign up for an @outlook.com, or if you're still rocking a Hotmail address like I am, you can turn that into one. When you click on that link that we have on the screen and that Jen put at the top of our chat, there's 4 options on that screen for it. You guys are all paid members, so you don't have to worry about that. You can actually download it from inside your Office 365. Just go to the app marketplace and download it from there. Or if you do use our link, click on the link, click on businesses, and then just sign in with your Office 365 account, right? That's your main email address. That's the one you want to use. If you have a really old Microsoft account, one that you have forgotten about with your business, like I had with my Kelly@BTF-services account, it will recognize you, even if it's been 12 years since you've logged in. And it will ask you to reset your password and you'll be ready to go. So there's lots of coverage to make sure you're using the right one. The app is available both for desktop and for mobile. You want both for your organization. The reason why is because we want to be able to collaborate no matter where we are, and we may not be in front of our computer from 9 to 5 with everything else that's happening in the world right now. You may be needing to get outside to get some fresh air. You may be helping one of your kids with schoolwork. You may be hiding from your spouse because they're on a conference call. Could be many reasons that you're not in front of your computer, and downloading that mobile is a way that you can still stay in touch with people without being tied to your desk. There's going to be a lot of dots, which is Time Matters users we're used to, right? Click on the dots means no clue what's going on. Show me my options button in Time Matters. Same thing here inside Teams, and I will show that in several places when we get into the actual demo of the software. We got some recommended reading for you. I've got 3 links up on there. You'll also be getting some handouts from Jen and I at the end of today, and there'll be more stuff tomorrow. So that's to get us started on our conversation with Teams. And anybody here does have Google Suite for some reason. There is information inside Google Suite that you pay for that are similar to Teams, and in a lot of ways better than Teams, better integrated for it. So keep that in mind, that you do not, if you already have Google Suite, which means you're paying for Google Apps or a official Google domain, then you don't need Teams. Contact Jen and I, and we'll get you set up on the other side. That's kind of a quick CYB kind of scenario. So now I'm going to stop the share on this, and I'm going to share my screen for Teams now. And this is the free version. Again, I'm going to point out the differences you might see, but there's lots of toolbars that we want to get started with. First one is the pinned toolbar. Everything is called a tab over here. And the first thing it will automatically open you up to after you have clicked on, downloaded, and logged in. Next thing actually on the handout you'll get today is it will ask you to invite other people to your teams or to join an existing team. But once you're actually the member of an organization, which our handout we send out today walks you through that. So this picks up right after you've already gone through our getting started document you've set up. It will open you up into chat, right? And chat is here on the left. It's one of the tabs. You can click the tabs as they go through. It will respond much faster when you're not screen sharing with a bunch of people. But chat is where everything gets started. This is your one-on-one private chat. This is also where your group chat is going to come from. And when you click on chat, you will see your recent conversations up here. It's also where you're going to invite people. So after you've joined an organization or you've added one and you need to add people, chat is where you're going to do that. And when you click it on, gives you the several different ways that you can invite people. You can copy a link and then text it or email it or send it out to people en masse. You can invite your contacts specifically. Now, when you're inviting your contacts, you're going to use the email account, and that email account is the one that they need to be using with Office 365 to bring them in here. Now, you can invite people that are outside of your organization into chat. And into Teams. We're going to talk about that when we get to Teams a little bit, because there's a caveat about that. But know that you can have your organization be more than just the people that are sharing an email domain with you. So right now, Jen and I are in this Teams. She's under lighthousetechnologies.com. I'm under btfservices.com. We're in the same team organization. So that's another way you can invite people. And then you can send a straight one out to a invite one by one. This is a copy and paste option, right? So that's how you'd add people in. Once they're in, and they've accepted the invitation, they will line up here underneath chat. You click on the filter and you can just start typing in someone's name. I only have one person in ours on here, but if I had more than one, you would see people on there. If someone has not accepted their invite, which means they haven't clicked on your link and they haven't gone and logged in to Teams, downloaded Teams, and logged into Teams with their Office 365 email, since everybody on here is an Office 365 subscriber, then they're not going to show up and they're not going to be available. So as the IT people, you'll need to help them get on here either through a phone call or a Zoom web sharing to get them set up into here. But once they're on here, you'll see them. Now, to send a message, you've got the message area over here. But up here at the top, you see you've got chats, you've got files. If you're in a huge organization, you can see where somebody is in the organization. Not too much with us small businesses. I mean, even with 50, 60 people, we're not going to have a whole long list that will be unable to be found via a filter by keyword. And then you also have the activity that you can see. And notice this dynamically changes based on what I have. This gives the activity for Jen that's publicly available inside the organization. So if you're a manager, you can kind of see the messages that have gone back and forth for somebody between you and that person. You can also see any files that have been sent between you and that person. So how did I send a message, or how did I send a file? Well, I make sure I'm on the chat tab. Again, all of these are called tabs. So I'm on chat over here at the top, and I have to be on chat over here on the left, right? They got to match up. Then I can type in a new message. And Jen is actually getting that over in her Teams. Her screen isn't shared, so we're not really seeing that. but that's how she's going to get it. And that is going to pop up both on her mobile and also on her desktop on there. If I need to send a document to her, then I can send a document here with the universal Clippy attach. It will open up either through OneDrive or through my computer. So both OneDrive is integrated inside Teams, but it's a separate login. So all Teams accounts and all Office 365 accounts come with SharePoint collaborative storage. And we'll talk about the limits that you have with the free account. The limits for your SharePoint come with whatever version of Office 365 you're with. Most of them start off at 1 terabyte, so you're good. You don't have to worry about document storage if you're paying Microsoft any sort of money. The OneDrive is a separate one for people that are using the free version. So you'll actually have 2 logins. You'll log into your MSN account, and that doesn't automatically give you a login or log you into OneDrive. You actually need to take that same email account and log into OneDrive, which you can do from inside here, and we'll show that tomorrow. But that's the 2 ways you can add something inside a chat. So I'm just going to click on upload from my computer. It will search whatever my last one is on there. And I will bring, looks like I've got my 5th element party in here that I can bring something in. This should be fun. And it will take a second for it to upload. And now when you have put this into a chat, it is available on the files for you and Jen, and it is automatically available for you and Jen inside the SharePoint site that is created for your Teams account, or the SharePoint that is being shared amongst your entire firm. Automatically have the permission. So if you send something specifically to Jennifer and then you want to share it with, let's say, Stacy, who's on the call, you're going to need to not either add Stacy to this chat, or you're going to need to use a team to be able to share that with multiple people. So you can add multiple people into chats and have group chats, or most of the time people are doing groups with teams. So that's the secondary part. Finishing up the rest of these. Oh, first thing, you got to hit send right over here on the side to get it to send. And it will send over the information. There's my 5th element. Wasn't as embarrassing as I thought it was going to be. If you want to send something with an important delivery message, this is where you can do that. Set that up. You've also got the ability to do smiley faces with emojis, send predetermined gifts from inside the Microsoft free online collaboration. You can do stickers. You can also do praise, which will be available throughout the organization, and ways to tell people that they did a good job. So I really like this, especially when we're all working remote, as a way to kind of let people know, hey, you know what? Stacy's out there telling us we're going to get through to tomorrow. I'm going to send her something for optimism on that. So just different ways you can work with it. Again, over here on the top corner, which I got to move Jen from my part, this is where you are going to either add people to your chat. It's where you're going to do a video call with the people on the chat. You're going to do an audio call, or you're going to share your screen. All that happens from inside the chat. If you are a free member, this is the only place that you are going to be able to do a video call or an audio call. If you are a paid member, you will be able to do a video or an audio call from inside a team as well. So what is a team? I keep chatting about that, right? Teams are just prepared formal groups that you have for things you're trying to get accomplished, right? So here we've got the Lighthouse consulting team on here, which both Jen and I are members. And the minute you create a team, a general channel is created. So team is the group of people. General, or the channel, is the conversation. It's where the information is happening, right? So right here, the minute you create a team, first thing you do is you create a team for everybody, right? That's your very first team. So the, my law firm, you create one, you add everybody in. When they accept it, now you have a all law firm team, and automatically Teams is going to add a general chat thread in there. So once you're in here now, when I'm sending a message to everybody in this team. I also have the ability to reply to a message and to have threads. So I have a channel for conversations, and I have threads inside that conversation. This gets very confusing for new users, because I want to reply to Jen having to go out and she's got a pool filled with hot water, right? I want to do that's awesome because I'm so used to the chat and replying up there. Well, now I've actually created a brand new chat. Instead of coming up here and replying to Jen and keeping it up there. So new users, that's the #1 thing that they do, and it really kind of takes away from that. Good news is you can edit any post, any document, anything you shared in here. So right click and edit, and you can highlight when change whatever you want. You know what, I really wanted that to not go there, and I can put it where I need it to go to keep the conversation together. Any person that's in a channel can copy and paste and add to a reply. Only the person who originally created the message can delete the message. So keep that in mind. That's why you really want to be training on the new button versus reply. And it's kind of awkward because chat, the new button is the only one you have. You only get this reply when you're in Teams. We also have the ability to create private teams. And what private teams allow us to do is exactly what it sounds like, keep things private, right? That being said, privacy when you're dealing with your organization is only to the IT manager. So since everybody on here is an Office 365 subscriber, whoever the IT or the system admin login for that has the ability to see all chats, even private to private one-on-ones, and to see all channels, even private team channels that are in there. So per anything, if you've got, you know, IT people or people that need IT functions, make sure that those are the ones you want to be able to read everything, because that's what a system admin can do. To create a new channel underneath any of the teams, or to create a new team itself, you just join down here, join or create a team. So when I click on that, I'm going to create a team, and I can either build a team from scratch or I can copy one that's already out there. If I build a team from scratch, I get two options. Is this going to be private? People need permission to join. Or public, meaning anybody that goes and looks for available teams will be able to join it. So think about it. If you've got certain projects that are coming up or big cases and you only have 2 or 3 people working on the cases, that's going to be a private channel. If you've got public open, that's going to be anyone can go in and jump and see. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, when you add somebody into a team, when they're added into your team organization from your contacts and your chats, they are able to see anything that is public over in your team section, including past discussions. So if you use Teams to determine whether you want to invite your favorite Time Matters vendor into your teams, and then the same conversation, the same channel that you've had that conversation in, you invite Kelly Jones in, Kelly Jones can now see that conversation. So the rule of thumb is if you're going to invite external people into your teams, create new channels for them. That way they don't get to see the history of what's been going on. So that's how you create a new team. To create a new channel, 3 dots, right? And add a channel. You also have the ability to link to the team. This is a way to share the team and allow people to see it. And you can manage the team from here or manage the team from the 3 dots on there. We're going to get a little bit more into the management parts, but I wanted to point out how to add a team and how to add a channel into today for it. Now, you have the ability to make calls, but only to people inside your organization, unless you are an Office 365 subscriber and you make some changes on your Office 365 settings. These are something we won't really be getting into because they're very IT specific, but you need to be able to open up external dialing, and you also need to change dialing from being in Outlook to Teams in order to be able to use the call functions. When you're using the files, over here overall, you will see the file for all of your Microsoft Teams that if they're private and shared with you, you will see them. If they are private and not shared with somebody else, they will not see it unless they are logged in as the system admin on there. If I'm under chat, I'm only seeing files that came from that chat. It is very context specific. And if I'm on Teams, no teams actually own a file. What owns a file is the channel. So all the action in Teams actually happens on the channel. That's where the files are at for it. So that's why the channels are so important and what you want to do. So I'm going to quickly jump back from the sharing and just kind of go over my slides. I'm going to Looks like it's starting from the beginning. That's okay. We'll quickly click. So chat, that's where you're going to get dropped off when you first accept your invite and come inside. You'll see your recent chats. You'll be able to search for who else is in your system on there. This is a private direct messaging and ad hoc, which means I create my own group chats with anyone that's been invited and accepted into your team's organization. It's audited by IT members, and chat is how you are adding to the organization. When you add your favorite Time Matters consultants, Jennifer Rathbun and Kelly Jones, everybody in your organization will have the ability to chat with them through this area. It is adding it to a global address book. The app mention smacks them upside the head, right? So it's just like the instant messenger that we're used to in Time Matters. And sometimes, depending how you've set up your profile, it's going to give you more information than you want. You can edit an app. So if it says Kelly Jones, president, leap into the cloud, that's a really long tag. You can go through and just make it @Kelly if you wanted to. When you're using chats, temper yourselves. Don't expect an immediate response. This is similar to email for it, but if you do want to do an additional, hey, I need a quick response on that, that's what the exclamation point is right there. And we've put all 3 of the toolbars that you need to get familiar with chat on this screen. So what is a team? Team is the formal group of users for communication, and the channel is the conversation that you're having with the team. And so first thing you need to do is figure out what you need for teams. You need one for everybody. Then you need one probably for your individual sex, maybe the PI section, or maybe the DR section. Or if you have a more common one, which is senior attorney, paralegal, and secretary that regularly have meetings, then you'll want a team just for them. If you're working on any particular project, deliverables or anything, you can create a team for that and have different conversations about that deliverable. Oh, I don't know, maybe you hired a new human resources person and you're involved in trying to bring them up. Well, different people could be involved in different channels for helping the human resources person get brought up to speed and get information out to everyone. Remember, anybody can see past stuff inside a conversation, and don't forget to practice the reply versus new. This is even worse on mobile because it's very hard on mobile to see the reply section, and it's a big, huge green plus to add a new thing for it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing training. Really try to stress that hard with people. Here's the stuff you're probably looking for. What is my in the cloud options? You have at least 1 terabyte to use with SharePoint if you are an Office 365 subscriber. If you're using the free site, you get 10 gigs for team files. You get 2 gigs per person. You can expand the 2 gigs personal. If each user then logs into OneDrive, they get 5 gigs for free with OneDrive. So that makes it 7 gigs per person, 10 gigs total in addition to each person for the team file storage. Weird thing, whether you're on Office 365 or not, OneDrive still is in play. Private channels are going to use the OneDrive. Chats use the OneDrive. So if I'm sending a file via a private channel, I'm not going to find that over in SharePoint. I'm going to find that in OneDrive. So there still is some interplay with OneDrive. You'll want to make sure you know, as a point of knowledge, everybody's OneDrive login and everything for that. Also, there is limits with how deep you can share both inside your SharePoint and your OneDrive. It is, you can't upload a file larger than 100 gigs, and you can't go deeper than 3 file folder levels because there's a character limit for it. And when you click on downloads, which is right here, if you see on the general files part, that's going straight to your Windows download. So everything that you click to download, it's going to download in your Windows download. There is a capability of changing that on the IT level, but usually it's not recommended to do that so that everyone's training documentation backs it up. So I know we went pretty fast and heavy during stuff, but I got one last part, and hopefully you guys can stay with us. Meetings and calls. So from chat in the free version, you get audio and video calls just from the call tab. So you can't schedule anything in advance. You got to have a group chat with everybody on there, and then you'll be able to do it. With paid versions, you get the ability to make external calls once that's enabled by IT. You can create speed dials. You can have your own voicemail. You can set up contacts to be able to actually dial out from inside Teams. So the benefit again of that nominal 365 subscription that you're doing is you now could actually have a remote phone system that everybody could share built into an application they're already collaborating with. Also, inside a paid version, you are going to get a calendar, and the calendar tab is going to be on the left-hand side where you had calls and Teams to start with. You'll be able to see your calendar from there. You will be able to create new things on your calendar and invite other people. And then when it asks you where you want to invite, you will tell it, I want to invite this team channel, or I want to meet in this team channel. And that's how you can do recurring meetings or group meetings through the paid version of Teams. If someone invites you to a Teams meeting, free version or paid version, video is optional. It is not going to automatically sign you up. And there's a really neat feature that will blur your background. It doesn't have the green screen yet. They did commit that they're going to get that out in the next quarter, but it's not out yet. It was promised last year, but it is definitely coming out from there. And then on your screen sharing, if you're on the free version, it can only come from the desktop in the window. You can screen share from a channel if you have an active meeting in the channel. So that's the other way that you can do that. That's the high level. We'll happily, I know we've already kind of over the time by a couple minutes, but if anyone has any immediate questions, we'll stay on for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, we will be meeting tomorrow to answer more of your questions, of course, and then to also show you how you can enhance your team's experience with some next level customization and fun stuff.